More Derby and Oaks points on the line. Let's get this going.
Trust the Profits is proud to be sponsored by Game of Silks. Go to silks.io to get in the game. Real ownership, real races, real rewards.
That's right, horse racing fans. And my name is Keith, and you could find me at the handle Each Every Stride on X Twitter. Welcome to Keith's Cash Plays, where we look for value play horses, hopefully at a price of 5-1 or higher come post time. And as the start of week 14, in the money results are in, we've had 15 out of 45 horses hit the trifecta at least. So that's a 33% clip. Not a bad percentage. And most of these horses are going off 5-1 or higher come post time. And we're always looking to improve as horse players as well. Welcome again to Keith's Cash Plays. We're going to be heading to Gulfstream Park for Fountain of Youth Day for more 3-year-old preps on the way. We have a lot of familiar horses returning to the track and more Derby and Oaks points on the way. And it's a stacked card for talented horses, just like FYI in the Devona Dale Stakes and the return of Emmanuel, who I saw win live at the 4-Star Dave in person at Saratoga. Also, we have Locked and Dormick among many talented runners in the Fountain of Youth Stakes as well. So I'm really looking forward to talking 3 horses that I found throughout the card that really caught my eye as hopefully value play and price play potentials. Even could be used underneath to spice up the exactas and the tries. And I'll give you my thoughts also on the Fountain of Youth Stakes as well. And I do like a price in there to pick up the pieces. I think that horse could really get rolling late and could be used underneath for sure. But thank you again. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe to Trust the Profits. And thank you again for tuning in to Keith's Cash Plays. Let's take a look at race 7. I'm going to start off here with race 7. This is the Mac Diramita Stakes. And this is going to be on the turf for 11 furlongs for a great purse of $200,000. Let's take a look at a horse that I was intrigued by. And this is going to be number 2, Anglophile. Let's pull up some stats about Anglophile. This is a horse that is trained by Brian Lynch and will be ridden by Johnny Velasquez. Now, what I found interesting about this horse is, looks like, he ran in a grade 3 last time, January 27th. And going 12 furlongs on the turf, now gets back to 11 furlongs in a grade 2. What's interesting to me here, let's look a little bit further at the PPs here for you. So we got a 6th place finish with Johnny aboard that day, January 27th. What's interesting is that was a grade 3. Now this horse is stepping into a grade 2 race for a 6th place finish. Maybe there's something there that Lynch knows with this horse, and this horse actually had a tough trip. So let's look at this a little further here. Let's look here for you. We got, as far as this, trip was just bumped early and never really showed interest, really any interest after that. So I thought it was intriguing that this horse actually is entered now in a grade 2. And as far as this, that grade 3 race on January 27th looks like a tougher field to me than this race. So let's look at some of the opponents here that I see that potentially could upset my pick here. So let's look a little further. We got Main Event, the number 1 horse. I think this horse is really going to try to wire the field. I have concerns, though, about the distance for this horse. And then we also have the Tawny Port. That's my New York accent coming out there. So let's look at Tawny Port, who's actually been on the turf now for you. This is the Ohio Derby winner from the Kentucky Derby Trail. So, I thought that I was just going to try to beat Tawny Port. I know that he's been running in big class and now has been doing the turf routes and everything, but going to try to beat Tawny Port as well. And that's why I was looking at number 2, Anglophile. Now, as far as this horse, Johnny V is aboard again. And with Brian Lynch, they've teamed up for 26% over 19 starters. Now, I know that's a small sample size, but a good strike rate there. for the jockey and the trainer combo. And I think this son of English Channel will appreciate the 11 furlong distance. And this is a third start off of a 2-month layoff from October. So I like the cycle of the layoff from October. This is the third start from that race. And this horse hasn't actually been in the money since winning the Kentucky Downs race. So let's look at that. Yeah, that was a Kentucky Downs on September 23rd. I really appreciate any horse that can win at Kentucky Downs. That's a quirky track that kind of, stands on its own. So that's a very persevering type track. So that was the last win for Anglophile. It hasn't been in the money since. So I'm hoping to get some kind of price there come post time. I think the distance is right. I kind of like the cutback with the pedigree. I like the post, the number 2 post, and hopefully get a nice trip here. And hopefully 5-1 or higher come post time. Thank you. So that was race 7. And then let's look at race number 10 here for you. I like a horse that's going to hopefully be rolling late. And this is the horse on my screen here. This is Miss Yearwood, the number 8 horse. And this race is race number 10. The very one stakes going 11 furlongs again. But this is on the turf also. But this is for mares 4-year-old and up. So let's take a look a little further at the number 8 horse. This is going to be race number 10, Saturday at Gulfstream. So for Miss Yearwood, this horse, looked like she just needed a race off of the layoff. So let's look a little here. Yeah, we had a long layoff from May of 2023 and then returned on the synthetic. Let's look a little further at the PPs for you. Okay, let's take a look here. Now we got, returned off the synthetic. Now, I like that this is the second try now at Gulfstream. She ran a decent 4th from the 1 post, going 12 furlongs on the synthetic. I really thought that was not a bad effort at all off of the layoff from May 2023. And this mare is trained by Ian Wilkes and will be ridden by Chris Landeros. All right, and then let's look. So we got Miss Yearwood hits at the Wilkes and Landeros. Wilkes actually hits at 14% with horses off of a similar, this is a 67-day layoff, return to the races. So not a bad percentage, but I didn't think for Miss Yearwood to get in the money, you need a few factors to really happen here. You need a pace scenario. So let's look. So we got Miss Yearwood, the number 8 horse. Going to need a little bit more pace into the race than what's on paper. But I'm hoping more develops. Now let's look at some of the competitors here. We got number 5, Sister Luann. Let's pull up Sister Luann. Here we go. Number 5, I think this horse will be forwardly placed for Jose Ortiz. And then number 9, Angel Nadeshiko. I think I'm saying that right. I practiced that a couple of times. So let's see. We got Angel Nadeshiko, the number 9 horse here. Let's look a little further here. Let's go to the number 9 just to show you. These are just the competitors that I think are going to show speed. Yeah, this is for Edgar Zaya as a board. I think this horse is also going to show speed as well. So as far as my horse here that I like, this is a horse that is going to be in the back, really just going to have the setup. You get the 11 furlongs. You also have other talented runners in this race. So let's look a little further here. All right, let's look here. We got the our Callie Kim, the number 10 horse, very talented horse. And we got number 7, Cairo Consort. Now, you remember this horse from last year who had such a troubled trip, really had no business winning that race at Gulfstream. I remember this race and this horse. Now, this is a year later, but I remember that kind of went viral on horse racing Twitter. That was quite the effort. I'm just looking for a price here, really to hopefully get a nice trip. And this is number 8, Miss Yearwood. Now, this horse hasn't beaten a grade 3 yet, so that's one of the concerns. But if you look back at the races in 2022 at Belmont at Aqueduct and Gulfstream in early 2023, those look like tougher fields to me. So I'm hoping there's a nice setup here. Let's look. Yeah, just a lot of nice, tough races here that this horse has raced. Now, we're looking for second off of the layoff, hopefully going back to the preferred surface and distance on the turf. I'm hoping to get a nice cash play here to get into the trifecta at a big price. All right, and then let's look. We got the next race. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Fountain of Youth Stakes. So let's look at the field. All right, now we have two horses that are cross-entered in this race. We got the number 1 Speakeasy and then number 6 Merit. Those two are cross-entered. I'm actually hoping that both get in, and I'll explain why. I'm hoping Speakeasy gets in to really give some juice, some kind of pace into this race. Let's look. I'll give you my thoughts on the pace scenario here. Now, this is for 3-year-olds, obviously with big points on the line for the Kentucky Derby. Now, this race actually just looks very top-heavy to me. We got Dornick, the number 5 horse, and Locked, the number 8. They really look like the two big potentials here. And we know that Locked was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and had a very nice 2-year-old year as the son of Gunrunner. And Dornick, just got up and re-rallied last time in the Remsen in the mud versus Sierra Leone. We've seen what Sierra Leone has done since, and won the at Fairgrounds as well in the Risen Star. So I'm gonna actually be looking at a price here, a big price to kind of pick up the pieces, maybe be used underneath in some trifectas and super plays. And let's take a look. That's gonna be number 9, Dancing Groom. All right, so let's take a look at Dancing Groom for you here and pull up some stats. All right, this is going to be a horse here. Let's take a look. This is Antonio Sano trains and will be written by Javier Castellano. Now, this is the 9 post. I mentioned that those other 2 horses are kind of cross-entered, so I'm hoping that they enter. I know Merit will kind of be off the pace a little bit, but Speakeasy, the number 1, I think will actually show some speed. Cross-entered in an allowance race as well, but as far as Dancing Groom, I like that it's the 2nd time blinkers angle for this horse, who ran at a big price in the Holy Bull Stakes. And that was, just earlier this month. And I know that this big race day is going to be March 2nd. So I like how it's just a month spaced out there. And if you look back, this horse is actually run in some big time graded stakes. So let's look a little further here. Yeah, we got the Holy Bull, as I mentioned. We got the Kentucky Juvenile and the Champagne. Now, we know with the Champagne that Timberlake is going on to win, the Rebel Stakes. So it's really, this horse has been with some top class animals in the horses here. So I really thought that that was a good sign that this horse hopefully can need a step forward, big time step forward. But I think this is going to be a horse that's going to be in the back and try to pick up the pieces late. Now, sometimes on these big race days, you get some speed favoring. Your speed looks good, it holds, and they really soup up the track. I'll say that Senior Buscador, who came rolling late for 2nd place in the Pegasus, and then obviously you've seen Amazing won the Saudi Cup. There is a chance that horses can still come off of the pace if the pace scenario develops, and hopefully will develop a little bit quicker than on paper. Now you got Dornick, who I mentioned will be stalking, will be tough. I think Locked actually will get a nice trip. Will be a little bit further back. And, I really think that horse could get a nice trip too. Now with this horse, Dancing Groom, that I'm making a case for, last race, let's look at it a little bit further. All right, let's look a little further at this last race for you. So this was the Holy Bull. Finished 5th out of 7 horses, but was bumped at the start. I watched the replay. Horse just never really looked comfortable, was 4 wide and just kind of tired. I just thought, maybe a potential that a step forward here in a better trip. Yeah, that horse just didn't look comfortable to me. A 5th place out of 7 horses in the Holy Bull could have been a worse result. So let's think about trying to get this horse home here at a big price. All right, and then we're gonna, kind of put a bow on this here for you as far as my thoughts. I really think that Dornick and Locked look tough in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. But if you want to get creative with horses that you feel and you have a strong opinion for using underneath, I would definitely say go for it. You're not gonna really make any money boxing those 2 horses, so I would say my suggestion, my opinion would be to kind of key one of the horses and then maybe use a couple other big prices underneath. So let's take a look at the 3 horses here for the Fountain of Youth Day that I'm going to be using, kind of playing a little bit across the board and using in exotic plays as well. We're looking at number 7, the number 2 horse Anglophile, and number 10, actually race number 10, I like number 8, Miss Yearwood. And then race number 14, the big one, Fountain of Youth Stakes, Dancing Groom. Hopefully get the pace set up. You know, it depends on some of those horses if they scratch or not, but really like this horse maybe for a potential, like I said, for the trifecta in the Super. Thank you so much for joining me on Keats Cash Plays. It's been so much fun really trying to find and create this value all across North America. Thank you again so much for the support, and remember to keep cashing those tickets and keep it moving. Good luck.